Chatham grabs the checkered flag. He wins.
Back victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, a Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Blake Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off of turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins.
All right, good evening here, everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. We're getting set and ready here for heat number 1 of tonight's race. Let me get this set correctly here. This is not where we need to be. There we go. All right, let's go racing. Great. Oh, man, I'm trying to get to where. There we go. Down here out of corner number 2 they go. Bowing down here across the front straight away. Trying to figure out who's in the front here. See if we can get this to come up. Come on, here we go. Down here through off the corner number 3 and 4. Grandy out there in front with Jolly there second. Salas there third. Christopher in fourth. And they roll on back down here in the corner number 1. Up off that corner number 2. Salas there in third as you got the 213 of Michael Vitale sitting there in second. Up turn 4. Here they go back across the line. Getting together there is the 79 of Dean Reynolds and Jason Butterfield. They work down through off the back stretch here through turn 3 and 4 here tonight. Down through the front stretch. Joseph Grandy, Michael Vitale, they're bridling it out for front 2 positions. There you see Salas, they're third, and they ballot back on down out of turn number 2. Down through 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. Coming here to the flag. It's going to be 2 laps to go. These are your 358 modifieds. Heat number 1 on the board. Hey, rocket on down here into 3 and 4. Vitale there in second, looking underneath. He's got Dallas underneath him now as the unofficial results for heat number 1 come into play so far. Grandy doing a great job getting that win up 9 position. Well, no, sorry, scratch that. Don't listen to me. I'm not paying attention to that right at all. So heat number 1, here's your results. For heat number 1, we got Joseph Grandy there out front, getting the win. Michael Vitale, second with Isaac Salas, third. Clay Christopherson there fourth. Dean Reynolds fifth. Dan McLaren there in sixth. Jason Butterfield seventh. Bob DeGood eighth. Chris Albee there in ninth. All right, here on the heat number 2, your starting grid. These 8 drivers on track. Scott Riome starting there on pole with William Watson there second. Jeff Barker third. Matt Barber fourth. Sam Bachman fifth. Harold Klump there in sixth. Trevor Garoon seventh. And Michael Vecchio there in eighth. I'm not sure if I'm probably butchering that last name there. Sorry there, Michael. Hey, I'm working up of the corner here. Down off the back stretch. Lights are off on that pace machine. One more time around here. And we'll be green flag racing. Green flag out. They're down and away here in the corner number 1. Rion getting up there on the top side, but look out, here comes that 16 of Matt Barber down through the middle. He's got the 23 there of Watson in the middle. Guys, stack up coming off the corner down here in the 1. Here at Charlotte tonight, down the back straightaway. Now you got them 358s trying to work their way up off the corner, down off the straightaway here in the corner number 1. 6 laps to go here in heat number 1. Oh, I'm sorry, heat number 2. We saw heat number 1. Heat number 2, there's the 35, Harold Cook down there on the inside of Watson. Can't make anything happen there as he rolled down there out of 2. Watson now getting underneath Rio. Matt Barber out front in that number 16. And speaking of 16 here tonight, I don't know who all has been watching the news, but we are here at MFTV. Send our condolences out to the family and relatives of Greg Biffle as they suffered a traumatic loss today. NASCAR as well lost one of its own. Retired driver Greg Biffle. You'll see down there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, flipping through all this network stuff down there. In amongst all that, you'll see a ribbon come up with the Greg Biffle. That is why we have that there tonight. Off the corner, that 16 of Matt Barber out front as they drive down here off a 3 out there in the 4. Down through the front straightaway. Final lap. Matt Barber out there doing a great job. He is up 3 spots from where he started. Coming from 4th, he is the fastest guy in this heat as they come around here. Unofficial results coming in. Heat number 2 here tonight. Matt Barber, your winner. Scott Leome in 2nd. Harold Clump 3rd. Trevor Giroux there 4th. William Watson there 5th. Sam Bachman 6th. Jeff Barker 7th. Michael Bachil there in 8th. All right, starting grid for heat number 3. Shane Billings starts us off on pole. Mike Brewer there in 2nd. Jeff Sharp there in 3rd. Ryland Banks 4th. Maverick Seidel will roll off in 5th tonight. Brian Moore in 6th. Barry Wallace in 7th. Brian Dickens in that 122 will roll off in 8th. Great car count here tonight. Nine cars in Heat 1, 8 cars in Heat 2, 8 cars here in Heat 3. Fred pulls off. We're going to be going back green flag racing. His time with heat number 3. And down here through the front straightaway here in the corner, number 1 and 2. Down here on the bottom side, we got that 390 trying to work his way up there to the top side there. On the bottom side there, as I was trying to say, that's the 280 of Jeff Sharp. Now look out, the 17 there of Shane Billings falls back into 2nd. And Brewer tried to battle for the lead. Brewer retakes it a little bit there out of turn 4. They're 3 wide coming to the line. The 17 there, Shane Billings in the middle. Jeff Sharp down there on the bottom. Are we going to try to push it 4 wide? As they come down here in the turn number 3 and 4. Now you got the 76 there. Ryan Banks coming into the picture. Oh no, the 17 in trouble. Down there through the front stretch. Gets it gathered up, and he lost all his momentum. Ends up in the back of the pack now. Back there in 8th as they go 3 wide once again up there at the front. With Jeff Sharp there in the middle. I'm sorry, no, that was Ryan Banks in the middle. Jeff Sharp's down there on the inside. Brewers up there on the outside. 4 laps to go here in heat number 2. Battling out. There you see that 122. Brian Dickens, he's slowly coming into the picture here. Around Charlotte here tonight. Down here in the heat, in the corner number 1 and 2. As they work up off. Brian Moore there in a 5th. And we're off in turn number 3 down that back straightaway, or front straightaway. Here in the corner number 1, along the bottom side, Jeff Sharp tries to hold on to that little bit of a lead. Here comes Brian Dickens, though. He's going to go and make a dive there for a 3rd spot. Can't quite complete it here. 2 laps to go as they come here off the corner. And final lap now as they come across the line in the corner number 1. Brian Dickens there in a 4th, trying to battle it out there behind. Ryland Banks, but up there in the front. Jeff Sharp down there on the inside. Brewer there in 2nd. Who's it going to be coming to the line? It's going to be Mike Brewer getting that 3rd, or getting that win here at Charlotte for heat number 3. All right, here we go. So heat number 3, your results are as follows. Mike Brewer out there in 1st. Jeff Sharp there in 2nd. Ryland Banks 3rd. Brian Dickens 4th. Brian Moore there in 5th. Barry Wallace 6th. Maverick Seidel there in 7th. Shane Billings in 8th. And looky here, folks. It's been a while since we've had one of these. We got a consolation here tonight. Dean Reynolds going to lead it off with William Watson in 2nd. Brian Moore in 3rd. Dan McLaren will start 4th. Sam Bachman there in 5th. Barry Wallace 6th. Jason Butterfield, he'll be there in 7th with Jeff Barker in 8th. Maverick Seidel in 9th. Bob DeGood there in 10th. Michael Vecchio there in 11th. Shane Billings in 12th. That is your starting group. Oh, I'm sorry, we missed a driver here. Starting 13th. That's going to be Chris Alvey back there in the back. Now they work down here in the corner number 1 and 2. If I'm thinking right, I'm thinking we have 1 driver going home. Ten laps the distance here in the consolation. Or some of you might call it the LCQ, last chance qualifier. Down here off the front straightaway they go. In the corner number 1, Dean Reynolds gets a great jump down there on the inside. Look out, almost going 3 wide, almost 4 wide. We've got 1 blinking out there. That is Brian Moore in that 55, a little bit there with a connection issue here. As that could happen in the sim world of racing as you're watching here tonight through the iRacing online simulator. Down there across the bottom, that's the 007 of Sam Bachman. And oh no, we got Jason Butterfield up there into the outside wall, upside down. Is the 93 of Butterfield. Barker as well. One of the drivers possibly not going to make it now here as they come around turn 1 and 2. 8 laps to go. Dean Reynolds, William Watson battling it out. Up there on the top side is Reynolds as they work their off for 8 laps. Now 7 laps to go. Here they come across the line. Dean Reynolds trying to hold on to 1st. Dan McLaren there in 3rd. Brian Moore there 4th. Sam Bachman, he's there 5th as they roll around here. in the third, 3 and 4. Bachman, as you see there, in that 007 machine. Barry Wallace there in 6th. Maverick Seidel in 7th. Shane Billings there in 8th. Bob DeGood there in 9th. Chris Alvey there in 10th. With just Michael Justified there in 11th. I'm sorry. Down there off a turn 1 and 2. Dean Reynolds Watson there in 2nd. Brian Moore there 3rd. There you see those two drivers that are on pit road. Now work there off. Butterfield's making his, Butterfield making his way back onto the speedway. That's the case. I'll put Barker out. 3 laps to go here in the quarter number 1. Watson there in 2nd. Dean Reynolds there in 1st. Watson, a great guy behind the wheel here. Really knows how to get these modifieds around the speedway, as evident from last season. Up there in towards the top of the points. Dean Reynolds, also a great driver here. Very competitive here at Coast to Coast that you're watching here on Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm not sure why that is. Let me see if I can fix something here. We'll see. Does that help any there? I'm sounding like I'm in a tunnel. Hopefully that helps. Down here off the corners, they got them coming out. Dean Reynolds there in front. William Watson there 2nd. Did we lose connection? All right, here we go. Warm up, take a place. We'll be back here in a little bit, or here shortly. Here's some words from our sponsors.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here with the starting grid of your 358. We got Desert Grande starting out there on pole. Matt Barber fast in heat number 2, starting there in second. Brewer there in third. Michael Vitale there in fourth. Scott Riom there in fifth. Jeff Sharp in sixth. Isaac Salas there in seventh. Harold Klump there eighth. Ryan Banks in ninth. Clay Christopherson there in 10th. Shepard Giroux there in 11th. Brian Dickens in 12th. In 13th tonight, that's going to be starting the number 79, Dean Reynolds with William Watson there in 14th. Dan McLaren 15th. Sam Bachman there 16th. Brian Moore there 17th. Barry Wallace will start 18th with Seidel there 19th. Billings starts tonight in 20th. Bob McGood there in 21st. Chris Albee there in 22nd. Michael there in 23rd, and Jason Butterfield will round out their field there in 24th. And I don't think we saw our consolation results. Here they are. Dean Reynolds, William Watson there in second, Dan McLaren there in third. Come on now, quit being a pain. Sam Bachman, Brian Moore, Barry Wallace, Maverick Seidel, Shane Billings, Bob DeGood, Chris Alvey, Michael Baccio there in 11th, Jason Butterfield in 12th, Jeff Barger. Top time for him. He finished 13th there in the consolation. We're getting ready here for our feature. Oh, would you stay out of the way? We get going here. 30 laps. Off through the corner, down here through the front, or back stretch, sorry. Now they battle it out here. A big field here tonight. They work off of turn 3. Randy out there in third. Barber up there on the outside. Really making that work. And at number 16 tonight. Down here in the corner, number 3 and 4. You got Brewer down there on the inside. Almost getting there to the tire. Had to go and stretch it out there as they work back down in the corner number 1. 3 wide for the lead now. I did see that 518 there. Grandy getting into the mix. There in the middle. Vitale there in the 213 sitting fourth as he tried to work his way up there. That switch again. No, why is that not? Man, I'll have to figure that out there to figure out why we have that sound issue. Let me try something. I don't know if this will work or not. All right, down here through the backstretch, we got Matt Barber as our leader. Brewer there in fourth. Getting sideways there. And we got problems here in turn number 1. I think I might have got it. So here we'll take a look at this caution here under the... Where did it go? Ah, boy. Okay. So Dean Reynolds ends up involved. There you watch him coming there out of the corner. There's Reynolds there in the middle of the pack. Coming there off a turn. And number 1, they get squeezed. Watson goes around in at 23. And it's just a pile-up parking lot there in turn number 1. And they still demo derby it coming there out of the corner. Barry Wallace involved. Brian Moore involved. Dan McLaren. Watson, Brian Dickens in the pits. What happens there, Bobby Powell? It isn't so much that my mic isn't plugged in. In my streaming software, apparently I get a double mic, or it tries to double input itself. Yeah, that definitely was. Big crash there. Big parking lot in corner number 1. Here we go. Out of corner number 4. Green flag back in the air. They're down here in the corner number 1. Side by side there. Just see Vitale take that bottom side. Going to try to work it out there. Can't quite do so. Barber chose the outside. He's going to stay up there to the outside. That's where he's been comfortable all night long. As you see, they're still trying to get that racetrack to work in here as you watch them all come off the corner. Lots of action here at Charlotte tonight. You're looking there at the 280. Jeff Sharp, he's in the middle of the track. Running about mid-pack there in about 8th. As they're 4 wide coming there off the corner. Smile it back out there. Now, Salas now into the outside wall. He's going to try to bring it up, and he'll spin it right there in front of the 35. And caution back out that time as you watched it live. Salas going around there. Right across, right in front of the 35 of Harold Klump. I don't think they touched. But definitely gave, I'm sure he gave the 35 quite a start. Yeah, we'll go back and look at it here from the onboard of Harold Klump. Here you see them. They're coming here into the corner. And all of a sudden, hello! Man, oh man, what's some heads-up driving there from Harold? Working out here. Brian Dickens classified out of the race. Second caution of the night here at Charlotte. Down there, up to, yes, even Vitale up there on the outside, row number 2. To his inside is Scott Rio. Matt Barber's choosing that outside lane again. He's felt comfortable there all night long. There they come off of turn 4. He'll get on that loud pedal and scurry away. And here they come back down there in the corner number 1. Up there on the outside. Look out. Here comes the 76 there of Ryland Banks underneath the Scott Riome. And you got that 39 there of Mike Brewer down on the bottom side of the racetrack. And they work here off the corner. 4 wide in places as they work down here in the corner number 1 once again. Everybody's trying to fight for position. Barber out front. Grandy there in 2nd. Vitale there in 3rd. Ryland Banks back here in 6th. They're up there against the outside wall now as they come down off the corner. The 35, Harold Klump, he's trying to work his way up through, but having issues back here himself. Dean Reynolds down there on the bottom side in 11th spot right now. We got the 280 of Jeff Sharp in the middle of the track. 4 wide here through turn 3 and 4. Working off. He's going to fall back here. Chris Starpson down there on the inside in that 051 machine. Work down there off the corner. Matt Barber is still out front, but he's getting company there from Grandy. Grandy's trying to get to his back quarter panel. He will get there. Up there on the top side. Barber down on the inside. He's losing ground now to Grandy as they work down there off of turn 3 and 4. Vitelli working his way back into the picture here as they come back off the corner. 16 laps to go here at Charlotte. Down here off the corner they go. In the corner number 3 and 4. 15 lap to go. Barber there in second. Vitelli there third. Scott Riome in fourth. Trevor Guru there in fifth as they working on out here. Out of the corner. Grandy, now you're a leader with Barber fighting there in second. Vitelli there third. Riome there in fourth. Back off of 4 across the stripe. 13 laps to go. Grandy there in the back. Glad you're enjoying the show there, Bobby Powell. Lots of racing action here tonight. We're just starting here with the 358s. Then we go to 358 big blocks, which being here at Charlotte, I'm quite certain everybody's going to be going big block here for the next race. Then we move into the Pro Late Models. These are sponsored here tonight. Full Throttle Motorsports Dirt Modified Series. Work down there out of 2. Vitelli there in a third. Riome there for it. Trevor Guru there in fifth. Work down there off. Great job. All of turn 1, they're single filing it out now. There you see Grandy trying to hang on. You got Vitelli there in third. Barber sitting there in second. They roll it off here into the corner. Shane Billings back here in 14th. Brewer sitting there in the 390. Sitting down there in 7th position as they go 3 wide there. Coming off the corner. Riome up there at the top side. They got that 76 of Brown Banks trying to work his way through the middle. Can't quite do it. There you see the 075 of Trevor Guru. He's in 4th right now. But here comes Barber trying to make another shot down there underneath their Grandy. Can't quite get it done as they battle coming there off turn number 4. 6 laps to go. Clay Christopherson back there in about 10th. Battling there with the 007 of Bachman, trying to get up there in the 9th. As you watch them come there off the corner. Grandy still out front with Matt Barber there second. Vitelli there in third. You got Trevor Guru in 4th with Scott Riome 5th. Mike Brewer back there in 6th. As they battle it on down there out of corner number 3 and 4. 5 laps to go. Grandy there leading the way. Barber there second. Vitelli there third. Trevor Guru in 4th. Scott Riome in 5th. As they keep working it out onto the backstretch. Good evening over there at FFTV. If you're watching over there, thank you. As we work it out of turn 4 here for a few laps left. We're down to 3 laps to go here in the 358s from Coast to Coast Racing League. Most of you are watching over at Coast to Coast Racing Network. We got all kind of action-packed racing here tonight. Dean Reynolds there in 12th. With Shane Billings there 13th. William Watson there 14th. Dan McLaren, he's in 15th, rolling around down there on the bottom. With Matt Barber working there off the corner. Off of 4. Final lap in the air. White flag waves as Grandy is out front. Barber trying to hang on there to second. Guru now in third as Vitelli falls back into 4th. Gonna try to slingshot it down there. Can't quite do it. Coming there off the corner. It's Grandy for the win here at Charlotte. Grandy getting the win here at Charlotte in the 358 Modifieds. All right, bringing it right here to victory formation. Here is your results. Joseph Grandy there out front. Matt Barber there second. Trevor Guru there third. Michael Vitale in fourth. Scott Rio in fifth. Mike Brewer sixth. Cleveland Thompson there in seventh. Harold Klump there eighth. Jeff Sharp in ninth. Ronald Banks there 10th. William Watson in 11th. Dean Reynolds 12th. Shane Billings there 13th. Bachman there in 14th. Dan McLaren finishes tonight in 15th. Jason Butterfield driving on number 93 will finish in 16th. Maverick Seidel in 17th. 18th tonight, that's going to go there to Brian Moore with Bob DeGood in 19th. Michael Vecchio there in 20th. Chris Alvey there in 21st. Barry Wallace there in 22nd. Isaac Salas, usually a strong runner, but here tonight finished in 23rd. Brian Dickens here in 24th. So that is your finishing order. Now we'll go and get with our winners. Trevor Guru, your third place finisher. Good evening there, Trevor. How's it going tonight?
Good, yourself?
It's going well, and man, what a night it was for you. It looked like you were sitting fourth for quite a while, but then eventually were able to get around Vitale there for third.
Yeah, man, just fast car tonight. Just buried myself in qualifying and was lucky enough to transfer through the heat. And I think I started 11th and drove her up to third, so we'll definitely take it. And like I said, super fast car tonight. I'm always comfortable here running the top, and you know, maybe an extra 20, 30 laps I could have had something for Grandy, but he was pretty fast tonight. So props to him, props to Matt too, and yeah, good night overall.
Well, definitely a great job out there, and you got any sponsor shouts? Anybody you want to thank for taking third place away here tonight?
Yeah, I just got to thank all the guys at FTM, Big Tim Race Wraps, RSN Trackside, Expert Installation, Swan Speed Shop, Dean Reynolds of the Super Dirt Car Series. Shout out to my fellow Canadian Matt Barber on a impressive second place finish here, and big shout out to teammate Scotty earlier in the race. He saw that I was just on him there a little bit, and he was nice enough to do what a good teammate does, and let the faster guy by. So I appreciate Scotty for doing that. I don't think I was much faster, but I was definitely keeping up with him. But I appreciate him for doing that either way. So props to Scotty and all the guys at FTM. Like I said, I've run some good runs tonight. And just one more thing, Adam. We had some pretty terrible news today in the racing world. Just want to extend my thoughts and prayers to the Biffle family. That's a terrible accident, terrible tragedy. So thoughts and prayers are going out to them, and yeah.
Most definitely thoughts and prayers with them. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, we got the ribbon down there in the bottom right, flipping through and through there, down there where the station or the our network stuff is. So, but congrats again there, Trevor, and hopefully this is a pretty good start for the season for you.
Yeah, man, just this is gonna be the first year in a while that I'm actually going to try and go for a championship. I got one in this league and it was stressful, man, and I just wanted to race for fun instead of racing and be stressed out to go for a championship. So, but this year, man, I want to win another one. So that's what I'm coming here to do for the next 12 weeks, whatever it is. So if we keep putting these good runs together, maybe throw in a few wins in there, and hopefully be there at the end. That's all that matters.
Alrighty, well, it's a tough feat here coast to coast for sure. There's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, well, good luck, and you have yourself a great night there, Trevor.
You too, Adam. Thank you.
All right, it's Trevor Guru, your third place finisher. Now we'll get with Matt Barber. Good evening there, Matt. How's it going?
Oh, not bad. You?
It's going well. You got second place here tonight after leading so much of that race. It looked like you just kind of fell off a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, no, I was just trying a different lane. You know, sometimes it bites you in the ass every now and then, trying something different, trying to be different. And, yeah, it bit me in the ass that time, but yeah, I had a fun race. You know, it's always fun racing with Joseph.
Well, that's the trick. Whenever you're leading so much, you just never know if those guys are really catching you fast or not, and you don't have the ability like you do, you know, a couple cars back, kind of seeing where other drivers are running to try to find that other lane.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching them in the mirror, and I seen them catching up, and I didn't want to just mirror drive them, so I kept trying to make it work, and yeah, it just didn't work. So I tried reeling back in, and I was keeping up with him pretty good in 3 and 4. He was better in 1 and 2, and then eventually he found a groove in the middle and just took right off.
I mean, it looked like the track was a great racetrack tonight. Definitely had a couple different lanes if you could find them.
Yeah, you have to be searching, that's for sure. I tried, when he started pulling away, I just kept trying a bunch of different lines, and yeah, no, it was, all in all, I can't complain, running up at the front, and it was fun.
Wow, you did a great job. You got any sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting second here tonight?
Tessie Mechanical, FTM for sponsoring this league, the league in general for having all me and my guys. My guys, of course, we race with all the time. U-Fligger for doing the broadcast, and I think that's about it.
All right, well, congrats, and we'll see. Are you going to be racing more tonight?
I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
All righty, well, good luck if you do. If not, you have yourself a great and wonderful evening.
Thank you.
That's Matt Barber there in second. Now to get with Joseph Grandy. Grandy, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Adam?
And it's going. You got yourself a victory here tonight to start the season off.
Yeah, I was a little worried starting on the pole because the outside usually has a better start here, and what I expected to happen happened. He ended up beating me out of the corner or two, and followed around for a little bit. I noticed the top was starting to come in, and he just didn't move up and got around him.
You definitely looked great there, and didn't really seem to have too much mistakes there on the top side. I know we had a couple cautions there towards the back, but I mean, all in all, you had yourself a great night of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Towards the end there, I decided to go in the middle, 1 and 2. That usually comes in pretty decent once the top wears out there, and yeah, just set sail.
Wow, great job. And you got any sponsors, shout-outs to anybody you want to thank here tonight?
Absolutely. I'd like to thank Aiden over at Raise the Bar, all the guys over at RMDB, Catalytic Recovery, Hinkle Homes, Mad Rabbit, Highline Cinematography, Shaggy TV. I'd like to thank FTM for sponsoring Thursdays, everyone at Coast to Coast, my girlfriend Olivia. I appreciate it, man, for doing broadcasting.
All righty, well, congrats again there and getting that victory.
Thank you, man. Hopefully I'll talk to you a little later.
All righty, we'll see. Good luck. Alec Grandy there getting a win here in the 358. We will be right back with some more racing action as we get set for the big blocks. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
friends, it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get... Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Alright, we're back here from the Speedway. You see the 88 of McLaren out there getting a few laps in. Get ready here for your big blocks. Running Charlotte here tonight. Brian Moore out on track as well. There you see him in the 55. Joseph Grande, your winner of the 358. Out front there in the big block. Currently sitting there with 15.178. And work down through the backstretch. Thank you for joining us there on FFTV. We're getting ready for the big block modifieds here with the Full Throttle Motorsports sponsored Coast to Coast Racing League series here this Thursday night. Just finished the 358s with your winner being the 518 of Joseph Grande. Now here we're getting set for the big blocks. Now to see how well these qualifying goes. All right, so I gotta move that. Qualifying is taking place. Trying to get that so we can read it here. So bear with me as you see this thing moving around the screen here. Yeah, you see them going on there about their everybody's qualified. Things are getting set to rock and roll. Here is your starting grid for heat number 1. Jason Butterfield there in front. Jeff Sharp second. Mike Brewer there third. Isaac Salas there fourth. Dan McLaren fifth. Brian Moore there sixth. Clay Christopherson there in a seventh. All right, here and getting ready as we see here. Come on, you. Salas starting there in fourth. It'll be interesting to see how this track wears in here tonight. Yes, there, Bobby. They are running 30 laps in the main event. That is standard here for Thursday night on the for the Thursday Night Thunder. Wednesday night, I believe we run a 25 lap feature. But Thursday night, we run a 30-lap feature. But 8 laps to go, or it'll be 8 laps the distance here in the heats. Looking at qualifying, I think we're going to have 2 heats. I think, well, maybe 3. We'll figure that out as they get going here. Off corner number 4, they go down here in corner number 1. Salas up there against that outside wall, battling it hard. In the corner number 1, Brewer down there on the inside. Here they go up off the 280 there. Butterfield on the top side. Salas trying to hang on there in the middle. As we see the 93 of Butterfield down there on the inside. Great run so far. Salas there in the middle, going to dive it in there. Has to try to work it out there as they are 3 wide there in that middle, or in that second row. As Butterfield sees all this going on behind him, Butterfield doing a great job running out there in the front. There you see that 280 of Jeff Sharp up there on the top. Salas there in the middle. The 390 of Brewer down there on the bottom. There you see a little bit further back is Dan McLaren in that number 88. And up there on the top side of him is the 51 of Christopherson. He's driving really battling hard down here in the corner. No problem there, Bobby. I'm happy to answer any questions you have here for the Coast to Coast Racing League. Appreciate you sharing some of them on here in the Coast to Coast Racing Network. They roll here in the corner number 1 and 2. Salas there in a third, but behind the battle up there in the second. Brewer there in fourth as he's trying to battle it on the bottom side. Can't quite do anything. Chris Darvison sitting there in the fifth as he's getting closer to coming into the picture. 2 left to go down here out of corner number 2 down the backstretch here in the 3. Salas underneath. Looking there, side by side, almost 3 wide. Once again, as Brewer look back on the bottom. Salas still in the middle there as they work down here in the corner number 1 again. He's going to look high. Can't quite get the momentum he's looking for. There, as we see the 280 of Jeff Sharp there in second. Salas makes a dive to the bottom there through 3 and 4. Not enough. As Sharp gets the run off the top side, he'll get second place. Over top of Salas as Butterfield will get the win here in heat number 1. All right, your results for heat number 1, they are as follows. Jason Butterfield there in front, Jeff Sharp second, Salas there third. Brewer finishes fourth, Christopherson fifth, Dan McLaren there sixth, Brian Moore there in seventh. All right, here we go. Heat number 2, the grid. Jeff Barker there in front, Joseph Grandy in second, Dean Reynolds third, William Watson fourth, Scott Rion fifth, Michael Vecchio there in 6th, Matt Barber in 7th. Well, I do know that Watson's going to want to try to better his run from his last race, if he can. Starting up there in the 4th. He is technically labeled as the fastest driver in this heat. Matt Barber not taking the grid. I work down up over here. Out of turn 4. Barker, your control car on the bottom side. And down and away. They're coming off the corner. The 518 getting a great start there from Grandy. Barker down there on the inside. As they battled out there with the 23 of Watson, already up there to third. As they come out of the corner, battling hard in the corner number 1. As they work down the back stretch here once again. Watson now up to second. Randy better watch it. Al Watson wants some revenge here from the 358s. He went home with a wrecked race car there in the 358s, if my memory serves me correct. Down there off of the corner. They go down the back stretch. And we got 6 laps to go. Watson just a little bit straighter through the corners, which is what you want here in these dirt cars. You want that car to be as straight as possible. You don't want it to become a big sail. You want to try to glide through the wind, glide through the corner. So the straighter you can keep that car, the faster you'll be. Down here in the corner number 1, as you see, Watson looking underneath. As Reynolds being bounced around there, he's in the pits now. I don't know why he was bouncing around the leaderboard there a moment. They come working there off up corner number 1 and 2. Watson still hangs on to second. Barker back in third. Michael back here in fourth. And watching Watson there coming out of the corner. Now 2 laps to go as they come across the line here in the corner number 1. Up there off corner number 2. Watson there in second. Grandy in front, but those two got to battle it hard. We see Michael there and Jeff back here a little bit off of the pace. As Joseph still trying to hang on to that lead. Watson there second, working down here off in the 3 and 4. And work down off the corner. Up here on top side. There you're watching Watson down there through the bottom. But Grandy way up there against that outside wall is going to try to dig in something there as they come off of there. The unofficial results are in. And we have 3 heats here. Heat number 2 results are as follows. Joseph Grandy in the win. William Watson second. Jeff Barker third. Michael Paccio there in fourth. Dean Reynolds fifth. Scott Riome there in sixth. Matt Barber in seventh. All right, here is your starting grid. Harold Klump starting out there on pole. Michael Vitale there second. Sam Bachman third. Trevor Guru there fourth. Bobby Good there in fifth. With Chris Alvey there in sixth. Mason Hine in seventh. Seven drivers here in heat number 3. All of them shown to take the grid. It's a race night number 1 of the Coast to Coast Racing League here with the Full Throttle Motorsport Dirt Modified Series. These are the big blocks. A little bit ago, you were watching a 358. Your winner of that being Guru. As you see, Guru there in third. Here in this, fourth in this race. Down there, off a 2, half a lap to go. Fred pulls off on the pit road. Here we go, down here in the corner number 3. The field's handed over there to the 35 of Harold Klump. They work there off the corner. Down through the front straightaway in the corner number 1. Klump getting a great start as he slides up the racetrack. They're in front of Vitale. Vitale now works the middle of the track down through the backstretch and down there towards the slower bit of the corner. Coming there off turn number 4. Vitale trying to get up there and battle for the lead. As you see the 75 there, Trevor Guru up there on the top side. 7 laps to go here in heat number 3. Grandy is on fire here tonight. Bobby, he's up there in the third. He's got some of these figured out, but he's got some work cut out for him. He's working here off turn number 3 right now, down off the corner. Vitale underneath of Klump as they work down through the front stretch. 5 laps to go here under the back stretch. And in the corner number 3, Klump still leads the way with Vitale there in second. Guru in third, but gaining fast on those leaders as he is up there to the outside of Vitale, working down through the backstretch. Tight quarters up there against that outside wall. They work here in the corner number 3 and 4. He's got to the outside of Vitale. Going to try to battle for second as he's up there towards the top. And as we said, he started in 4th. So He was classified as the fastest here in this heat. You're watching him come out there, and there you see just how much straighter he is compared to Clump. And that's what's going to really help him out there with his speed. You see up there on the top side, backing off a little bit. He probably could have forced it in there, but chose not to. Down there through 3 and 4. Vitelli working the bottom as Guru's working the top. As Guru's got up there against that outside wall. He's got a run coming there off a 2, but he's going to back off just a little bit. As Clump is right there now, he'll try to drive it in there. Can't quite do it. As Clump is still there in front, can't quite get up there. Clump holding them up just a little bit. Now he'll try to make a run here. In through turn number 2. Can't quite get there. Trevor Guru there in second for the unofficial results. Great run there in heat number 3. Here is your heat 3 results. It's going to be Harold Clump, Trevor Guru, Michael Vitelli there in 3rd, Sam Bachman 4th, Chris Alvey there in 5th, Mason Hine in 6th, Bob the Good in 7th. All right, we'll be back after these short messages from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We got more action coming up.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, back live from the Speedway. Here is your starting grid for your main event. Jason Butterfield out there in front. Jugger Grandy there in second. Harold Klump in third. Jeff Sharp there in a fourth. Watson there in a fifth. Guru there in sixth. Oh, I'm sorry. I was speaking the wrong name there. Grandy is on fire. Yeah, definitely. I was thinking Guru for some reason. I don't know. Isaac Salas there in seventh. Jeff Barker there eighth. Vitale there in ninth. Brewer starts in 10th. Michael there in 11th. Sam Bachman 12th. In 13th. It's going to be Clay Christopherson, Dean Reynolds 14th. Chris Alvey starts 15th tonight. Dan McLaren in 16th. Scott Riome in 17th. Mason Hine in 18th. Brian Moore in 19th. Matt Barber there 20th. Bob DeGood in 21st. And yeah, I'm sorry there, folks over there at FFTV. I gave you the wrong name. It is Grandy that won out there in the Grandy won in the 358. He's looking for a big block win now as he starts on the outside here once again. Well, I should say once again, he started on pole in the 358s. Oh, he's starting one spot behind, but I think he'd much rather have that. As we heard him say in his interview here just a little bit ago as he won the 358 here, that he prefers the top side. 30 laps of distance. Here we're Thursday Night Thunder as they roll here out of turn number 3. In the 4, they're getting ready to drop the hammer. Down here in the corner number 1, they'll fly. As there you see, Barney gave them the green down there in the corner number 1. Grandy up there on the high side, going to make good use of it as he's got the run coming off the corner. They're getting around Butterfield. Butterfield not giving up, though, down there on the bottom. As we see that 280 of Jeff Sharp, he's back there in that second row. They work down here in the corner number 1 and 2 once again. Harold Klump back there in a fourth. Trevor Guru there in fifth. Working there off the corner. Guru falls backwards some in that 075 as Isaac Salas down there on the bottom. Would like a little bit better finish for him as well as he ended up in a terrible spot there. And he had some struggles last night as well. We got 2 that are out already. Bachman and Barber did not take the grid here. They whirled down here out of turn 4. 28 laps to go now as they whirl in the corner number 1. Up there against that outside wall is Grandy. Running away with it at the moment. He's really got the power down as he'll slide down there to the bottom. Bringing it up off the bottom side out of 4. There you watch that 96 there. No, I'm sorry, not 96. That's 35 of Harold Klump. The 93 there is Butterfield. As you see Harold Klump trying to get that thing to hook up for him down there on the bottom side. Having some struggle there it seems. But he's still on pace there in 4th place. As up there at the top side is Guru. Guru's battling it up there in the 3rd. And down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Now, Guru is putting on a show. I think he finished 3rd in the 358s. I could double check that possibly. No, nothing showing there as of yet. And we got the matinee winners there, but that is it. They work there out of turn 3 and 4, back down through the front stretch. Guru up there in the 3rd. He's going to try to battle up there to the top side of Bob Butterfield. Guru's on fire here tonight as well. We got Grandy going there out of turn 4. Butterfield, then Guru. Watson hanging on there to 4th. Salas there as well. Those two really put on a show last season. As they work down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Klump down there on the bottom. As they work 3 wide off the corner. Now back to 2 wide. Now single file here in the corner number 1. The 93, Butterfield, just rolling there on the bottom. Ends up getting up there in front. And now no pile up there. Guru's on his roof. Guru on his roof. work there out of the corner. There you see, just kind of gets squeezed up there into that outside wall. When he comes back down to 93, ends up into the outside, and oh no! That is not what I like to see. Oh, that is a heartbreaker for Guru. Let's go back here and look at this again, folks. We're gonna talk about something here that can happen within the iRacing simulator. See if we can get a little bit better here. There you see a little bit of contact out of the 93 with Guru. Now he'll come up, he'll shoot up into the outside wall. We'll see if we catch it here. And there you see it. Right there. The point of impact with Guru. Right there. You see that they make, or the sim calls it that they make contact, but they're just not, there's daylight between these drivers. That is just a terrible heartbreak there for Guru. As we see it here from the blimp view, there you see just how much track is there. And that, folks, is what we call netcode. That is where a driver or two aren't synced up together on the sim, and the sim ends up thinking that they're closer to one another than they really are. As you see, Guru ends up clipping into the number 23 there. The number 23 there of Watson. Tough break here. We are green flag racing down here with 19 laps to go. Watson up to second. Salas there third. Clump in fourth. Grandy still holds on to the lead, but Watson, a great driver here, coming out of the corner with 19 to go as you watch them all battle it out down there through the front stretch. They just took the green flag as we came back. They work down there in the corner number 1 and 2 through 3 and 4 now. You're seeing it at 39. Brewer working on the bottom side. Vitale there in 8th. Now 7th as he tries to battle himself up through there. Looking over top of Dan McLaren there in the middle, but underneath of Harold Clump. 3 wide. Down through turn 3 and 4. Up the corner they go. With Jeff Barger there in 9th. Mason Hine back there in 11th in that 89, but he's going to drop another position most likely. There as Dean Reynolds gets around him down there through the corner. Up there at front, it's still Grandy out front. Watson trying to chase him down. Salas there in 3rd, and that is kind of a picture that we saw last season, especially between Watson and Salas. As Salas is up there on the high side, Watson going down below. Grandy also up there, and as you heard from Grandy, he's wanting, I believe it's Grandy or Guru. One of the two are going to try to fight for a championship here this season. Unfortunately, though, if it was Guru not able to bring it out there. And just netcode taking Guru out. Like we said, not what we wanted to see. Salas getting that bottom to work, and he gets underneath of Grandy. Down there through 3 and 4, he's going to drive it in hard, going to let it slide on up. But still, Grandy had the momentum coming off of turn 4. Now we got 11 laps to go. Salas gets around him, throws the slider. Now here comes Grandy. He'll move it back. Watson going to hold Salas in place, unfortunately. Salas couldn't quite make the move down there on the bottom side. Watson now, he's going to throw a slider in there. Had to keep it checked down there. Now they work there through 3 and 4. Watson down there on the bottom. Here comes Salas in the middle of the racetrack. Gonna try to split him. He does. He'll come down. He'll throw the slider in the corner number 2. Down off the corner. There comes Grandy. Now he's getting around. Here comes Salas once again. He'll throw it down there in the bottom of 3 and 4. Grandy up there on the top side. Gonna pull the momentum off the high side in the corner number 1. Salas gonna pull it up there. Another slider there. Grandy gonna pull it back down. Gonna hammer it down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Gonna slide it up. Salas gotta backer it down and go on the bottom side. Salas will lead that lap. I think I'm down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Salas will bring it up. Grandy there behind him. Gonna slide it down. And you're in the corner, number 3 and 4 ends up getting checked down there on the bottom side. But he's got enough. Oh, no, he don't. As Grandy's down there on the bottom side of 1 and 2. 6 laps to go. Can't quite bring it up now as he's got Watson there above him. He's got to really try to find that line, get that thing hooked in there if he don't want to lose too much ground to Salas. And now he's losing ground there to Watson as they're both up there on the top side. And that's just what happens whenever you're battling for the lead. You're trying that slider line, and it just depends who's going to be the last one to throw the slider. And unfortunately, this time, it was Salas. Now there, as you see, Grandy going to try to get back up there and battle it out to get back around one of these guys here as laps wind down. 4 laps to go here in the corner number 3. Side by side there in 3rd and 4th as you watch. Brewer down there on the low side getting underneath or Grandy. And Grandy's trying to hang on up there at the top side. Salas into the outside barrier just a little bit. Then they work down there through 3 and 4. Up 4. Here across the stripe. 2 laps to go. Battles taking place back here a little bit farther. There as you watch the 88 in the middle of the track with Tally down there on the bottom. The 28 there of Jeff Sharp up there at the top. But everybody's keeping an eye on this up here. Salas has found another line to get him through. Corner 3 and 4 a heck of a lot quicker. Put some space between him and Watson as they roll down the backstretch. We'll see if they take that same line again. He will. He'll bring that slider line in through 3 and 4 and pull away here coming to the line. And it'll do it as Salas gets the win here in the big blocks at Charlotte to win race number 1 of the season. Your race results: Isaac Salas getting the win. William Watson in second. Joseph Grandy there third. Mike Brewer there fourth. Jeff Sharp fifth. Finishing 6th tonight, Dan McLaren. Michael Vitale there 7th. Jeff Barker there 8th. Harold Klopp in 9th. Dean Reynolds in 10th. Bob DeGood in 11th. Scott Riom in 12th. Mason Hine there in 13th. Brian Moore in 14th. Michael Vecchio there in 15th. Jason Butterfield 16th. Chris Alvey there in 17th. 18th is going to go to Trevor Garou with Clay Christopherson there in 19th. Sam Bachman there in 20th. Matt Barber in 21st. All right, now we'll get with your winners. And here we go. Joseph Grandy, 3rd spot. Good evening there, Grandy. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Well, you got 3rd in the big blocks. Not quite the performance you had in the 358s, but, I mean, you had probably the 2 toughest guys there behind you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Isaac would hold off throwing bombs because I knew that would put me in position to lose second, too. But, all in all, good race. It was fun. Can't complain a whole lot. I think there was only 1 or 2 cautions. So, good night.
Yeah, you definitely had a great night going. And, I mean, 3rd place, unfortunately, you started 2nd in this one, but still hang on for 3rd.
Yeah, the way my luck's been in this league, I'll take that any night.
Well, great job. And you got any sponsor shots? Anybody want to thank for getting that 3rd spot here in the big blocks?
Absolutely. I'd like to thank, again, Aiden over at Raise the Bar, all the guys over at RMDB, Catalytic Recovery, Hinkle Homes, Mad Rabbit, Shaggy TV, Highline Cinematography, the guys at FTM again for sponsoring tonight, my girlfriend Olivia, all the guys at Coast to Coast, and appreciate you, man, again.
Alrighty, well, congrats, and we'll see in a couple of weeks. The next week's Christmas, so I unfortunately will be away from my computer. So it'll be a couple weeks. It'll be a couple weeks before I'm back at it.
All right, man.
You had a great night here tonight, and hopefully this will keep momentum going for you here this season.
Thanks, man. Have a good Christmas.
All right, you have yourself a great Christmas there too, Joseph. All right, I'll look at Watson. Good evening there, Watson. How's it going?
Good about you, bud.
I'm doing well. Who's going to follow who this season? I mean, you two have really put on a show here the last season. And now starting here in the winter season here of 25-26. Man, it doesn't look like you got any rust in them fingers yet.
No. I don't know, to be honest with you. We were all battling pretty hard, moving pretty fast. I'm surprised the pack didn't catch us. It was a great race. I can't complain about that. I had to get up there and follow Isaac, and then I don't know how he does it, but he will ride that wall, and that right rear will be scraping it, and you get to where you start to trust him, and then there's that one time where it grabs, and it was like 5 to go. It happened. And I was like, oh my goodness! I had to get on the brakes. I probably could have, if I wouldn't have trusted him so much of doing that, I could have cut underneath him. But it was a great race all around. It's kind of hard to tell who's going to lead the points this season. Everybody shows up every race.
We're only in the first race, so I mean, I'm not even considering points yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking about it. So if I want to win it, I got to start thinking about it now. And if they show up to every race this season, it'll be tough. So.
All right, well, yeah, congrats on second place. You got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, teammates at FTM, Swan Speed Shop, Stupid Performance, Scriptex.com, Dean at Dirt Car Series, Vortex Graphics for the wraps, Jaggy TV, Coast to Coast, Express Installation, and you for coming out here and broadcasting.
All righty, well, congrats on second, and hopefully you'll carry this momentum through.
Hope so.
All righty, well, good luck in your next race.
I appreciate it.
All right, that was William Watson. Now we're getting with Salas. Oh, boy. Good evening, Salas.
What is going on, my man?
Not a whole lot. I'm hoping that post I saw yesterday is not true. I'm hoping it was just out of frustration.
It's a little true. It's just putting the feelers out, that's all.
Of selling the sim rig?
Yeah, just putting the feelers out.
All right. I know you had a disappointing finish last night.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's been brewing. It's been brewing. It was a rough night last night, though, huh? I was happy to get it. It was a rough start to the night tonight with 358s, and so...
That you did.
I was thrilled to do good.
I mean, I don't know. Did you get some rust built up on that off week or what?
Apparently, man.
Well, you came out.
I don't know. I've taken a whole week off. I haven't even touched the sim stuff, and I'm terrible now. I don't know what happened.
Oh man, well you came out and got the win in the big block, so hopefully that'll help curve that a little bit. And man, picking right up where you left off, pretty much with the big blocks, battling with Watson.
Yeah, no, that was a fun race, man. Between Watson and Mr. Grandy, I mean, like I felt like we were kind of all dicing it up, you know, who was running bottom, who was running middle and top, and I feel like it was really good to watch, and yeah, I was super happy to come out on top. I'll tell you what, I got a couple lucky breaks there. I ran the bottom, and I cannot believe I didn't hit the inside tires there. I got super close to it, but yeah, super fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you definitely looked like you were having a blast out there, and you did come away with the win. And you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting the victory here in the big blocks?
Yeah, thank you. Big shout-out to all the boys who are at Venom Racing. It's a blast to be a part of it. Dean Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, JRB Designs for that scheme tonight, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, and everything they do for our veterans. Top Notch Truck with my Gramps, Shaggy TV, Reach Home Inspections. Thanks Coast to Coast. Thanks to you for broadcasting, sir. It's a blast to go back and watch them. Mom, Dad, Kelser, Gramps, and yeah, I think that's about everybody. Good runs to Mr. William and Mr. Joseph.
All right, well, congrats, and hopefully we'll see you in more races to come.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
All right, you have yourself a great night there, Isaac.
You too, bud. Bye.
All right, that was Isaac Salas getting a win here at Charlotte in the big blocks. We'll be back here in just a moment and we'll get ready for the pro late models here tonight. So don't go anywhere. We got more racing action coming up.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus. So let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback. and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they've done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, here we are currently in practice as these drivers battle out here in the Pro Late models now. Hopefully everybody's up for some racing action. We got 10 drivers here. 9 have put a time in so far on the speedway here in practice. As we continue to pay tribute to Greg Biffle and family down there in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see flipping through there, there is a ribbon with the number 16 Greg Biffle on it. Along with, there you saw between the, as we took our small break there, we had the 16 with the angel wings there on the bottom right as well. So thoughts and prayers to that family as they deal with a very traumatic and a hard time here this Christmas season. It's not something you want to wish on anybody. It's just a terrible, terrible tragedy that happened. Definitely something that shook the NASCAR world for sure. But here tonight we got the Pro Late models here from Charlotte. Now we see I got those in the wrong spot once again. So we'll get that fixed as well. Now I know what numbers I need. You're watching there, William Watson on track right now. Best time out there is Trevor Garou with a 15.070. Brewer with a 15.210. And Watson qualifies for it with a 250 or 15.251. Everybody's qualified. I don't know if we got any other drivers there. As everybody has qualified. Qualifying has ended. There's checkered flag comes about. And now here with the starting grid. For your heat race in the Pro Late model, we got William Watson starting it off. Dean Reynolds there second. Mike Brewer there third. Trevor Garou in a fourth. Jeff Sharp fifth. Dan McLaren there in sixth. Scott Riom in seventh. Greg Parmalee there in eighth. Gary Offboot there in nine. And Steven Bixler in 10. Hey, driver, get ready to rock and roll here tonight. Hey, we're here off of the corner. Down here, Dean Reynolds out in front, sliding it up there. Watson there in third. Brewer there in second. They battle it on down here, 3 and 4. Trevor Guru, Jeff Sharp back here in the back as well. Watson up there on the top side, gonna try to battle it out. Ends up getting there into the back a little bit. Had to check up. They all check up coming down there in the quarter number 1. 6 laps to go. Here they now work down that back stretch. As you watch over there at Flicker Farm TV and us here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Rolling down here in the corner number 1. Dean Reynolds up there in the top side, along with Guru McLaren there in third. Brewer back here in the fourth. Rehome in fifth. McLaren up 3 spots from where he started in the heat race 4 laps ago. And everybody's single filed out here, trying to battle along. There you see the 94, Gary Offutt there on the bottom. Offutt down there on the bottom, working off of 4. Has Watson up there at the top side. Watson must have ended up into the outside wall there. They work down there off the corner. Trevor Guru in second. Brewer there in third. Now, oh boy, they get together and McLaren ends up into the outside wall. Brewer is trying to battle it out back here once again. Final lap here for Dean Reynolds in the heat race. Looking underneath comes Guru. And not enough. Dean Reynolds gets the win here in your heat race. Waiting on the results to come in. Here is your results. Dean Reynolds there in first. Trevor Guru second. Dan McLaren there third. Mike Brewer in fourth. Scott Rehome there in fifth. Greg Parmalee there in sixth. Jeff Sharp seventh. William Watson there in eighth. Stephen Bixler there in ninth. Gary Offutt there in 10th. Offutt. Or is it Offutt? Offutt? I don't know. They're in 10th. Sorry there, Gary, if I'm butchering the last name. Dean Reynolds there in 6 passes. We'll be right back after this short message from our sponsor.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
Down there at corner number 1 and 2, as you saw there, our sponsor for the Pro Late Models tonight is Regal Wraps and Designs. Go ahead to Facebook and check them out at Regal Wraps and Designs. Down there, off of 2 they go. You got Scott Rehome right there on the bumper. Brewer. They put in some laps here before the race. Now we're in warm-ups. Working that track in a little bit. Yeah, we're going back here. Dean Reynolds. Go ahead and pull this up here to see if we can get a time frame. All right, warm-ups have ended. Getting ready for your main event. 30 laps for the feature. Here we go. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Trevor Guru there in second. Dan McLaren there in third. Mike Brewer fourth. Scott Rion fifth. Greg Parmalee there in sixth. Jeff Sharp there in seventh. William Watson there eighth. Stephen Bickler there ninth. Gary Afoot there in 10th. Offit. It might be Offit. I don't know. All right, getting ready here for the start of this one. As we said, 30 laps the distance here for the Thursday Night Thunder. Everybody rolling out and getting ready. Hopefully everybody's excited for the Pro Late Models. Off into 3. Fred's got the pace car on pit road. Here we go. 10 drivers. 30 laps. Who's going to come out on top? Down and away. Here in the corner number 1. He shoots down there. Reynolds tries to hang on. Can't quite hold on to it enough. Adrian gets a great run there up to the back bumper. Brewer up there on the high side. Here comes Guru, though. Guru, he's trying to fight it out up there on the high side. The 88 there of Dan McLaren. He's going to slide it on up there. He'll get up there in front of Reynolds momentarily. Does not close the door. So Reynolds gets back on top of him there in the corner number 3. Brewer down there in 4th. He's going to try to get up there in the 3rd as he battles on the inside of Reynolds down here in the corner number 1 and 2. 28 laps here remaining for your Pro Late Models. Brought to you by Regal Wraps and Designs. If you're watching the modified series, the 3v8s and the big blocks, those were sponsored by Full Throttle Motorsports. Definitely appreciate them coming on board to sponsor another season, as well as Regal Wraps and Designs. As they work down here out of corner number 3 and 4. Onto the front straightaway. Guru out top. Dan McLaren there in 2nd. Dean Reynolds 3rd. Scott Rion there 4th. Watson there 5th. Brewer, he's going to look down there to the inside. Reynolds gets up there below the 88 of McLaren. Can't quite make that happen as McLaren gets back around him. Brewer's back here on the top side. Down there on the low side, that's the 280 of Jeff Sharp trying to make it around. Here comes Brewer now on the bottom side of Watson. As they work off. Guru in a different area code right now out there in the front, up there against that outside wall. They slide on up. The Brewer parks it almost there. And net code there between Riom and the 88 causes that accident, taking out Brewer. Caution is out. Dang, net code is an issue here tonight. Here we watch at 88. We'll see if we can get a better look at it here. Here we go from our drone. And 88 worked there off the corner, coming there off. He's going to end up sliding it up. You watch him come there off the corner. He's going to end up in that outside wall. Reynolds there beside him. Just barely touches him into that outside wall. He gets up there. And then Riom, not really into him, but gets hit like he was. And then they come together. up there into the top, and then he comes down off the wall right into Brewer. Brewer out there back on track. McLaren and Riom on pit road. Lights go out on the pace machine. We're going to get them stacked back up. Back green flag racing. Watson up there in the third. He's up 5 positions from where he started. Didn't quite have the start to the night that he was wanting, but he definitely turned it around here. He's sitting there in third right now, down there on the bottom side. Reynolds up there on the top. Guru on the bottom. I'm surprised Guru took the bottom there. He is your race leader. Been doing great. He comes off the corner. He will get a great run. Gets it slid up there in front of Reynolds. Down here in the corner number 1. There you see Watson down there on the bottom side. Going to try to get underneath of Reynolds. Can't quite get there as they work here in the 3 and 4. Sharp now up here in the 4th. Yeah, 5th rather. You got the 04 of Greg Pomerly working down there on the bottom. Going to slide it on up there out of turn number 2. There you're watching the 79 of Reynolds there in second. The 23 of Watson there in third. And they work off the corner. Guru leads the way as they work back out here. Guru up there on the top side. Reynolds there in second. Watson there third. Greg Pomerly there in fourth. Working off into the corner. As they work off up there on the top side. 21 laps to go as they work here off 4. Everybody's trying to final 4 position. There you see Mike Brewer up there in that outside wall just a little bit there off of turn number 2. Had a great race going, but unfortunately ended up getting caught up in that big accident there on the backstretch. Down there off the front straightaway now as he looks to the outside of Jeff Sharp, trying to follow the 75 of Stephen Bixler. And Bixler, he's moved himself up through a few spots here tonight as well. 19 laps to go. Working down there off the front straightaway here in the corner number 1 and 2. Dean Reynolds out there in second. Guru there in front. Leading the way. Watson in third. Greg Pomerly there for it. Bixler out there in fifth with Jeff Sharp there in sixth. Brewer back here in 7th. Now you'll continue on around here. Watching there as they got the 17 there. Or I'm sorry, 17 laps ago. The 75 out front of Trevor Guru. Jeff Sharp back here looking underneath. Our Brewer could not quite get there. There you see the Stephen Bixler in that number 15. I'm sorry, number 75. So you got the 075 out front and the 75 back here with Stephen Bixler, who's under fire from Brewer. As Brewer gets underneath him, coming down here in the corner number 1. He'll get it slid up there. Bixler, he's going to drive it down there, possibly get underneath him, coming down here in the corner number 3 and 4. He's in the slick, though. Can't get it. Drove in there hard enough to get back underneath Brewer. Brewer now up here in the 5th, and he tried to battle his way back up there towards the front. Sets his sights on Pomerly now. Watts out there in 3rd. Reynolds there 2nd. Guru in front. Watson, as we said, in 3rd. Reynolds there 2nd. Guru in 1st. There you see him, Greg Pomerly down here, battle. There you see Brewer, he's there. Can't quite get around him. Made a good run and good effort. Ended up being drove into the tires down there on the bottom side. He's going to go back up there top side to try to get around the 04 of Greg. Now he had more speed up there at the top. Greg's rolling the bottom. Here comes Brewer once again up there on the high side. 11 laps to go. Here they come down in the corner number 3. Guru, Dean Reynolds, Watson. And you got Greg with Brewer. Brewer sliding it up there off the corner. Trying to do a slider through turn 3 and 4. Run the top through 1 and 2. And I'm trying to wonder, and I'm just thinking this through, and and it was me. I might try the slider line through 3 and 4. Go and enter low, exit high out of turn 3 and 4. Enter high, run the high side through 1 and 2, but run the slider line through turn 3 and 4. Might give you enough, as that's how we saw there's Salas pull away there at the end on the big blocks, and I wonder if the same type of line would work here for the Pro Late models. Someone kind of call the line top, bottom top. Be the line around the racetrack. Brewer up here in fifth, battling for fourth. Working up there on the high side. Over top at Greg. Guru still up front. Dean Reynolds there second. Watson there in third. There you see Brewer. He's working there. Got some momentum. And was going to stick to the top side here through 3 and 4. And he's there. And boy, that was close. Brewer is there. He's got the runs coming off of the corner. Hope Force can be just a shade quicker there through 1 and 2, unless Brewer kind of waved off a little bit. Worked down there. Now he looks down there, possibly looking underneath. See if he can pull the slider here through the corner. Doesn't quite have the room yet. Greg is doing everything he can to keep Brewer behind him. Brewer now goes back to the top side. 3 laps to go. Here's the enter turn 3. Dean Reynolds back there in second. Watson in second if he can. Off of turn number 4 down here in the corner number 1. Off the corner, up there on the top side. Everybody is running. Clear back to Brewer. Brewer's running that top side, but Greg Parmalee, he's making that bottom work a little bit there for him. And as you see, Brewer up there on the high side. Can't quite get the momentum run that he's looking for off the corner. Brewer brings it on down there on the bottom. Loses some ground there off of 2. Official results here as they come there out of the corner. Trevor Guru, though, has finished across the line and has taken the victory here at Charlotte. Come out of turn number 4 for the victory formation. Trevor Guru, your winner here at Charlotte for the Pro Late Models. Your official results for your Pro Late Model are as follows. Trevor Guru out there in front. Dean Reynolds second. William Watson there in third. Greg Parmalee there in 4th. Mike Brewer there in 5th. Jeff Sharp there in 6th. Stephen Bixler there in 7th. Gary Offill there in 8th. Scott Rim 9th. Dan McLaren there in 10th. That is your finishing order. Now we'll get with your victory runners here tonight. Starting with William Watson. Good evening there, William. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Well, you got third here. You had I believe, if I remember correctly, second in the big blocks. Now you got third in the Pro Late Model. So not too bad for a start of the winter season here at Coast to Coast.
Yeah, it's not bad, especially coming from the back after I completely lost it in the heat race. I don't know. The car just pushed and would not turn, and then I got loose after that and got kind of turned sideways, and it was a battle coming back up through there, though.
Definitely was a battle, and was a great battle to watch, and just unfortunately does not look like he had anything to try to get around Dean.
I know. As soon as Dean said his car went away, I think mine went away right then too, because he pulled back off away from me. I was like, oh man. So it wasn't nothing I can do.
You did a great job. I mean, it looked like you did everything you could just to stay with him.
Oh yeah, kind of keep it off that wall was the main thing.
Well, you did a great job, and congrats. And you got sponsor shouts. Anybody want to thank for third place here in the Pro Late Models?
Teammates at FDM, Spawn Speed Shops, Dupro Performance, GripPacks.com, DNA Dirt Car Series, Vortex Graphics for Wrap, Express Installation, Shaggy TV, Coast to Coast, and you for broadcasting, bud.
Alrighty, well, congrats there on third place, and you have yourself a wonderful holiday.
Thank you, too.
All right, that was William Watson. Now we'll get with Dean here in second. Good evening there, Dean. How's it going?
Well, better now that I'm finally talking to you. I was hoping to do it a couple of times tonight, but I guess we'll do it in the late models.
Well, I mean, you raced your heart out tonight. Just unfortunately, things happen.
Yeah, Trevor's a faster. He's so good. I mean, he was faster than I was. I ran that as hard as I could and was running the same line as he was, because that was the line I ran in the warm-ups. So that's where I timed my fastest time was on that. So I was going to stay there, and if I closed in a little bit on him, then I would try to do something different. But yeah, I knew that was the way to go, and we just stayed there and finishing second to Trevor. That's no shame. I mean, he's so good in Pro Late Models, got so many wins, and we'll take the podium after some tough luck in the 358s and big blocks. But it is what it is. I mean, when you get guys going 3 wide on a racetrack, stuff's going to happen, and that's okay. We live to race another day, and we'll come back not next week because it's Christmas, but in a couple weeks, and we'll see what happens. But we're happy with the second.
Most definitely, and I mean, it was definitely. We saw iRacing trying to get its head in the game here tonight, too, a few times through the big blocks. I think we saw it once here in the late models, but I'm not sure. That dang neck code.
Yeah, since the new build, the net code has become a thing again. We had a big sprint car event that we held last week, my company that I work for, and there was some net code things going on in that event, and it wasn't even close sometimes. It was like a car looked like a foot away and the net code hit. But I mean, I'm not a computer programmer. I don't know. These guys are smarter than I am, and then everyone's so interested to make sure the track stays good and tire wear, and when you focus on a lot of things like that everyone's clamoring for, there's going to be some things that are going to get not overlooked or neglected. They keep them the same, but because they changed something else and made that come back. So they'll get it right. They always do. They always try to fix things, and they do a good job. And then, netcode was usually a thing 2 years ago, bad, and it hasn't been a thing for a while. So I'm sure it'll get it fixed.
Yeah, I know, like, even on the asphalt side, I remember I was in a Wheeling modified. I still call them Wheeling modifieds, even though they're, I guess they're the Tour modifieds or something, I guess. I don't know. But I was in one of those races, and I had netcode. The guy wrecked on the top side of the racetrack. I was clear on the bottom. And I get wiped out through netcode. It's like, you can fit a whole nother car between us.
Yeah, no, it's just, but you know what? It's still the best game for racing anywhere. I mean, there's nothing that you can do that's as real it is. And I have, real life drivers that work in my, race under my company's sanction, and they tell me that they get on iRacing to learn. And they said, no, it's a lot of it is like the real thing, and they learn from it. So that makes me, if they're saying that makes me feel like they're doing a good job.
I mean, I've heard, good things about it, but I've also heard some bad, but that's with anything around us, right?
There's good and bad in all of us, Adam.
Exactly.
Ask our girlfriends or wives.
But you did a great job putting that 79 FTM machine up there in the second place in the Pro Late Models, and I don't know, you fell a little short on the championship last season, so you going to try harder this season?
Well, this is the one season. That's why I was a little bit bummed about the 358s and big blocks, because this is the one season that I think I'm only going to miss 1 week, where normally I miss 2 or 3, and that kind of takes you out of the point hunt. Although I was close last year in the big blocks. I only lost to William by 8, and I didn't realize I was actually that close. But we'll give it a shot. We always do. And then, when you miss a race or two, and that's your drops, usually the odds are against you just a little bit. But that's part of the deal. And but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to run every Thursday that I'm around. I think there's going to be one Thursday I'm going to miss because I'll be in Florida. And but we'll give it a shot.
All righty. Well, good luck to you here in this season, Dean. And you got any sponsor shots? Anybody you want to thank?
I got to thank the guys from FTM, of course. Very proud of the suite. Congratulations to Trevor and Bart on the first and third. Got to thank them. Got to thank Regal Wraps and Designs, your company, Adam, for doing the telecast for Pro Late Models and being the sponsor, so we can showcase our talents to the people at home. Got to thank you for filling in for Shaggy. Shaggy had one last week in his previous commitment, and it was very nice of you to fill in for him. So we thank you on that, and thanks to Coast for putting a league on and having us a place to race, and then. We got some partners within FTM. We got to thank like Swan Speed Shop, Expert Insulation, and a bunch of other people like that. Vertex Designs, DJ Sim Shop. We got a lot of people within our family too that I sometimes neglect to thank, and I'm going to make sure I thank them this time.
Alrighty, well, great job there, Dean, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks then.
All right, Adam. Looking forward to it, and happy holidays to you, man.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
All right, that was Dean Reynolds. I will get with Trevor Garou. Good evening there, Trevor. How's it going?
Good, you?
It's going well. So you go from third in the big blocks up here to first in this, if my memory serves me right.
Yes, sir.
Well, congrats, and kind of take us through. How do you think your Pro Late Model felt for you here tonight?
Really good. Just super comfortable here in these cars at this track, and kind of know where the lines are going to be and whatnot. And so, I mean, yeah, the car felt really good. It was super stable. I was able to keep the car really straight, not burn up tires too much or scrub speed off. Yeah, like I said, just kind of know where I got to be at this track in these cars. So, had high hopes going in, and obviously came out with the win, and that's what I wanted. So, definitely happy with that.
I mean, you went from third in the 358s. Looks like you struggled a little bit in the big block, but then came out and got the victory in the Pro Late Model.
Yeah, just tough luck in the big block. I'm not going to comment on it too much. Just, yeah, it is what it is. Just wanted to come out here in the late models and focus on these. This is where I want to win my next championship. So I just kind of want to run good all season in these things and just be there at the end and see what happens.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I think iRacing Netcode had something to say there in the big blocks.
Yeah, honestly, I'll have to go take a look at it. It's just racing, man. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, that seems to be an ongoing issue right now with iRacing, just netcode stuff. And like I said, it's just racing, man. Stuff's gonna happen, and what do? You get mad for 10 minutes and you move on to the next, right? It's whatever.
Well, congrats there, getting victory here in the Pro Late Model. You got sponsor shots. Anybody you want to thank for helping you get up there in the victory lane tonight?
Yeah, just all the guys at FTM. I think we swept the podium. So props to all the guys at FTM. Constant support and support from my wife too. So props to her and shout out to her as well. And Big Tim Race Wraps for the wrap. Shaggy TV, you Adam for doing the broadcast for us. Just want to thank Swan Speed Shop, Expert Installation, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, and yeah, just everybody behind the scenes putting this stuff on for us. Looking forward to next week.
Alrighty, well, it'll be a couple of weeks before I see everybody again, with Christmas being next week. So have yourself a happy and joyous holiday.
You too, Adam. Take care, brother.
Alrighty, and that'll wrap it up here tonight for the broadcast from Charlotte. I definitely want to appreciate everybody for watching. We had a great night. Hopefully, you'll see us here in a couple weeks. Thank you again for coming out and watching the Full Throttle Motorsports Modified Series, along with the Regal Wraps and Designs Pro Late Models here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Alrighty.
Thank you.